What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Woo! Oh, Sue gave the kangaroo. There we go. So how are we doing today? I found one pair of my glasses. Only one, but that's okay. I don't know where my favorite pair is. What's up, Sue? What's up, Mandy? Cheryl, Brittany. How you doing, Brittany? Sarah Loves Donuts is here. Paranormal Witch, Malaya. Oh my God. Malia, how you doing? Adele, how you doing? THS, I appreciate it, honey. You have a good night. Megan, how you doing? The Dark Magician and Wendy Beans. Wendy was first, ladies and gentlemen. She was the first in line. Oh my God, I need to do my hair. I would love to be able to have time to do my hair. Got my car state inspected today. We have state inspections here, and, all I'm going to say is when you know people in the industry, you cut in line. So, good evening, Xylane Chat. Hope everything's doing well. How you doing, Dodo? I can't find, my favorite one is the pink and black. These are okay, but they just get on my nerves after a while. Yes, these are my naughty school teacher lenses. Just put it down like this on my nose and I look like I'm about to tell y'all off. Thank you. It's down. It probably won't, well, it might stay down because I don't think I have a hair tie on me. Which I should always keep a hair tie on me because I can't stand for my hair to be down. Oh, the good news is I have my headset though ready. But thank you, I appreciate it. What's up, Advent? So, this story that we're doing today, and I know this is an off night. Like I said, there's going to be more streams, so people need to kind of get used to, me being on more. We're going to be on this YouTube grind. Oh, and I figured out Friday will be the day that I do it at, this week will be the day that I do it at 3 p.m. I just don't know what story I'm going to do. But anyway, this story, when it happened, I wanted to do it then, but of course, I was on my break. And this story is, it's bad enough how Dr. Phil reacted. We all know how he reacted. I'm not even going over his reaction because his reaction was absolutely stupid. All I'm going to say is, a quick Google search, and he should have never sent those kids to that place. What's up, Skip? He should have never sent those kids to that place. And I'll let you know why. And yes, state of Utah. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. So, y'all ready to get started? Because, once again, there's a bunch of articles. I was up till 6 a.m. anyway, but I was up until about 1 or 2 doing this. He gave the Mariah Carey reaction. He did. He did. He really did. Oh my God. He really did. All right, hold on. Let me get stuff straight here, because I'm feeling discombobulated. Hold on. I don't need Twitter open. I don't need Discord open. And yeah, well, good. Hey, Quixie, what's going on? How you doing? All right. So I fixed the scene. We're back on track with the scene. And it's funny because I did it like 10 minutes before I go live. I was like, oh God, I got to fix the scene. So there you go. Thousand Zylies. What is up? All right. And by the way, who was it that says something? Wendy, all these right here, those aren't like tabs that are open. This is the stuff I want to be able to get to very quickly. I realized that y'all weren't seeing my tabs, but that's because I had the window expanded. Dr. Phil is just a talking head. The show producers are the ones at fault. No, I totally agree, but it's got his name on it, so he needs to realize what the fuck's going on. I mean, he has all that college education. I know he knows how to Google. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Oh, look, I'm at the last one. This is where I'm supposed to go. What's up, T-Spear C? Jolly Bridge Burner, how you doing? Appreciate you being at the stream. Hey, Xylee, the coolest live screen and host around. I know that's right. I appreciate it. All right, so for those of you who don't know Bhad Bhabie, which I'm not sure if there was, but just in case somebody's watching, they don't know who she is. Like any other research, I always start with Wikipedia, but I kind of skipped that part because I knew who she was, you know. So, hold on, let me get rid of this. All right. Danielle Bregoli, known professionally as Bhad Bhabie, is an American rapper, songwriter, and internet personality. She first became known from an episode of Dr. Phil in September of 2016. That was 5 years ago. And when she said the phrase, catch me outside, how about that? Which became a viral video meme and catchphrase in 2017. Bregoli became the youngest female rapper ever to appear on the Billboard Hot 100 chart with her debut single, These Hoes. She subsequently signed a record deal with Atlantic Records and now has expanded into a reality show. Oh, wait, she's got a reality show? Oh, no, y'all know how I am about reality shows. I'm going to have to find this. And makeup brand, tours, and music career, etc., etc. All right, so basically how she got her fame was being the Catch Me Outside girl at on Dr. Phil. And I will say, the first time I saw her, I was like, ooh, I'm not going to say online how my mama would have treated me acting like that. But, she was acting a whole ass mess on that show. Advent. Oh yeah, he definitely should have been more active in the planning of things. He is kind of dumb though. I know that's right. She's the byproduct of media fame. No, I get it, yes. Dark Magician, hi boss, what's up? Her show is called Cash Me Doing Stuff. Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up. Y'all know how I am about reality TV. I'm a reality TV hoe. I'm just saying. If it's reality TV, I'll give it a shot and see if I like it. Okay. So, I'm starting off with this video. There is another video out there where she was on Instagram. But I think this one tells... this one tells the story of why she's doing it, etc., etc. And then we have a bunch of articles to go through and some stuff that I found out. And again, everything I find, as far as like the article goes and the video, will be linked down below after the live is done. Because I'm going to be for real with you, I didn't have time to link all this. So let's do this. Hold on. Okay, I'm at 100. All right.
I was 13 years old when I went to Turnabout Ranch. I feel like it's very important for me to speak on this because I kept my mouth shut for so long. I did touch on it a couple times in different situations, but I really want to get my whole story out there and let everything just be out, because that's the thing with these places is you have no evidence. You don't have a phone there. They don't have cameras there. Like, there's no evidence of none of this. And obviously all the staff is in on it, so they're not going to snitch on each other. All you really have is the kids that are there. So a young lady, her name is Hannah, she recently spoke out because while she was there, she was sexually assaulted, and then when she reported that she was assaulted, she was punished by staff. Now, when I seen the punishment she was given, I knew like, okay, I really have to say something. Like, I really have to have her back on this because I truly believe that they did that. So, Dr. Phil, I am going to give you from now till April 5th to issue an apology, not only to me, but to Hannah and any other child that you sent to Turnabout or any other program like this. And if you don't, I'm gonna handle things my way.
I will say this. One thing that I respect about what she just did. All right, so she shows all the news clipping, what you're going to see. But was it in this one? It was either this one or it was another video where she said, no, it was her reaction to what Dr. Phil said. In that video, she has on there that if you have been sent to Turnabout Ranch from Dr. Phil or just have been in there because of parents sending you there, contact me. So, oh God, yes, there is one. I think she's really trying to make a change with this. And as we're going to see later, Turnabout Ranch isn't the only problem out there. And no, I don't watch Real Housewives. For some reason, I can't get into Real Housewives. Dr. Phil is not worried about anything. He has money to get a lawyer and help him get this out of the way. He's a weirdo. I felt like it was failure to parent as she was growing up. Yeah, I feel that too. But sometimes parents do need help. But the question is this where you send your children to get help, you know? It's called Bringing Up Baby, and it's a I gotta get Snapchat. Okay, well, then I'm not watching it. What's up, Amber Chick? Mandy, oh, no, she didn't. She must have some really good evidence on a lot of victims. Yeah, it's awesome to finally see there's an attorney of the caliber of Gloria Alfred. Yep. Acting for one of the survivors of these abuses. Yep. I think she's really mature since Dr. Phil, as most 13-year-olds would. I trust her in this story. I'm gonna be for real. First time I heard it, I immediately believed her. Just by the way she was talking, like she wasn't... You can tell when she was talking about it in this video, she wasn't just acting out. Like, she wasn't trying to be the badass that she wants everybody to know that she is. She wasn't... I don't know. It was different in this video, so...
Somewhere in the middle of August, I went on the Dr. Phil show, and my mom and my grandma knew they were sending me here. I didn't know I was going. I went school shopping right before because the school was supposed to start when I got home from LA from doing the show. So part of the whole Dr. Phil show is they send these kids to either Turnabout or these other programs that are also in Utah, but they're all wilderness programs and they're all fucked up. Somewhere in the middle of August, I went on the Dr. Phil show, and my mom and my grandma knew they were sending me here. I didn't know I was going. I went school shopping right before because the school was supposed to start when I got home from LA from doing the show. So part of the whole Dr. Phil show is they send these kids to either Turnabout or these other programs that are also in Utah, but they're all wilderness programs and they're all fucked up. Okay, so Turnabout is in the middle of Escalante, Utah. It's a very, 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 very small town. It's got one gas station, one grocery store. Everybody knows everybody there. You see you're in the middle of nowhere. You know there's nowhere to run. If you try to run out there, they're gonna find you, you're gonna get in more trouble, or if you do get away, you're gonna get eaten by a coyote or something. Because took in there against my will. They give you transporters. Transporters are two people, a male and a female, that come in the middle of the night. They don't tell them where they're going. They just take them, they handcuff them, they put them in the car. It's basically like kidnapping. We got there, I got out of the car, and I just seen it looked like nothing. It was just super dark. I seen like all.
Okay. First things first. Now, maybe it's because I don't have a child. All right. I was a problem child for my mother, but and hence the reason why I was sent to private school at one point, and that was torture in itself, let me tell you. But I cannot see my mother being okay with people who are not police officers handcuffing my ass and taking me. Now, in the middle of the night, I kind of understand because you're groggy, you're sleeping, whatever, but handcuff my next thing you know, Trilla's gonna be setting up. Stop. Oh, thank you, Brittany. Couldn't agree more. It's heartbreaking knowing that so many survivors have previously tried to get an attorney to represent them, but few get chance to their day in court. Well, we're gonna see why. Just hold your horses. We're gonna see why shit is fucked up the way it is. We're gonna get there, I promise.
All the circles and stuff, and I seen the little cabin, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not built for this. Like, I'm just a little bougie ass. So for the first 3 days you're there, there's no showering. They put you in a circle, which is it's a teepee. It's a little teepee, but it's open, and you have to sit there for 3 days. They wouldn't let me lay down for nothing. Like, I was falling asleep, and they were like, get up. So I'm just sitting here, like, this is gonna be really bad. When I seen these people have no sympathy, I was like, oh, I'm really doomed. They strip you from your whole personality. You have to act like just whoever they want you to act like. They told me, okay, these are what your chores are gonna be. I don't remember what they were, but they were like, these are what your chores are gonna be. This is what you're gonna be doing. Here's your level 1 binder. You do the same thing every day. Chop wood, take care of the animals. This place is all about taking away privileges. Like, okay, yeah, the phone is a privilege, TV, like all that. But they take away like necessity privileges, like sleeping on a bed, eating good food, not being cold. I remember the first time.
Okay. So what do you think being stuck in that teepee for 3 days and not being able to sleep is all about? That's breaking someone. That's the same kind of shit that, like, a cult will do if somebody does something wrong. Not saying it's a cult. I'm just saying it's like cult-like tactics. Sadly, the parents in many cases are so desperate of assistance when this method of transport is recommended, but their faith in the professional advice they're given. Captain, how you doing, Captain? Welcome to the stream. I feel like this whole stripping of personality thing hasn't been taken as seriously as it should be. Sounds like emotional abuse. Your comment is getting pinned because thank you. I think that's exactly what it is. Listen, I'm not saying be tough on these kids, okay? The way she acted on Dr. Phil and what she was doing with her mama and stuff like, no, she needed tough love. She needed someone to be tough on her and on her ass. But some of the things they did, that's too far. Too far. No. No. Ha! Yeah, I've never had a comment pin. Congratulations. My mom would have happily sent me there if I was in Canada where I was teen and my mom would, I'm gonna tell you what. If my mother would have sent me there, late 80s, early 90s, and I came back and told her what they did, she'd be owning that ranch right now. Because she'd have been like, excuse me, what? They did what? And you got to think, these kids don't have a phone, which is understandable. They can't call their parents, they can't call whatever, all right? I understand taking their phone away. But they had no way of telling their parents what was going on. Now, with most troubled teens, whether they're drug addicted, they've done this, they've done that, do you think society is going to believe them? Hell, they probably lied to their parents so much, parents aren't going to believe them. These are the perfect victims for this shit. They are the perfect victims for this shit. And that's the sad part. That is the saddest part of all. Nobody will freaking believe them because they are the perfect victims. They have already stressed out everybody in their life through their lies, through their fighting, through their arguing and everything like that. Who's going to believe them? Nobody. They're the perfect victim. The camp I went to was all about singing Kumbaya by the fire, talking about Jesus types. Oh yeah, you went to one of those. It didn't work. Oh, I went to a private school, so I didn't go to a camp. I went to a school, and yeah, it didn't work for me either. This junk, I would have showed out. Nobody believes problem teens. Hello, chat. Hello. Oh, hey, what's up, Raina?
Time I got in trouble. Now, this is my first time being here. Like, I don't really, y'all explained to me the rules, but I'm 13. Like, I don't really know, exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. There's been times where I reported another student acting inappropriate or just anything like that. Didn't even have to do with me, and I would get in trouble for just witnessing it. If you reported another kid, getting bullied by, their peers or something, they would just say, well, maybe that's what they need, or, something like that. Even though there was written rules, all
right, Courtney, you have a good night.
If a staff was angry at the moment, or if you just did something that they felt was bad, you would get your own punishment. They would make up their own punishment for you. So it's really frustrating because even if you don't know the rules, if you fuck up, you're still in trouble. There's not no I didn't know. You're still in deep shit. Shit that's minor is major to them. So if you do something like the tiniest thing, you get a check. If not, you have to be on reflection. Reflection is the punishment. When you do something so bad, or if you do anything that ticks them off, you have to go on reflection. You walk in the arena for hours on end. You sit outside in the cold on the floor. You have to pick up piles in a wheelbarrow of horse shit, and they want big piles. So if you have to do 25 piles, you're really doing 50 wheelbarrows. So while I was there, just a lot of crazy things happened. I seen a kid get held down for trying to leave. Just honestly, I don't think he was trying to run away. I think he was just trying to walk out the door and just get some time to himself, and they restrained him, they held him down. They had no problem holding kids down, which is against the law. You're not supposed to touch the kids, but they had no problem doing that.
I did an outward bound and went to one of these schools. I get how triggering this can be. Yeah. How you doing, Lee? What's up, Nancy? Yeah, these places need to be regulated more. That's all I can say. Yeah.
It's just our word against the staff's word when you're there, because there's no witnesses, there's no cameras, you don't have a phone, there's none of that. That's why I was always so scared to speak out, because it's no one's gonna believe me. A lot of things that happened to me there, it hurt me so bad because I was genuinely confused. I'm writing letters to my mom, Mom, I will do anything. You don't understand what this place is like. You can't do this to me. I will do anything. I will do therapy every day. I will go through an outpatient program, all that. Just please let me come home. The staff when I got there was this dude, Jimmy, and this dude, Ted. These are the night staff. Two of the night staffs around me, they were really, really sweet. One morning I was cleaning up for breakfast, And one of the staff members was standing right next to me, and she had her walkie on her, so I heard everything. One of the kids, he had tried to steal a car or something. Everyone was screaming on the walkies like it was really crazy, and he ended up killing one of the staff members. They made all the kids that were at Roundy come down, and then they told us not to tell us anything. A day later, they have us all every kid that's at Turnabout, they have us all sit in a circle, and they're like, listen, there was an incident, I know some of y'all heard it over the walkies, Jimmy died. And so we're all freaking out, because Jimmy was, like I said, he was one of them that was there the first day I got there. He was really sweet. Not only did Jimmy die, but one of the other staff members that was there at the time, Alicia, who was the daughter of the nurse. Alicia, she was also injured, and 2 years later she died, and she was also left disabled after being attacked by Clay. So the mother of the kid Clay who killed the staff, she was married to the brother of the president of the program, which I also believe is a conflict of interest. I don't know why they would do that. So it was really sad. Like, they wouldn't tell us what happened and all that. And any of the kids that were there, like, they couldn't talk about it, but they were, like, really traumatized by it. Even the ones that weren't there were traumatized by it. Like, I heard it over the walkie. Like, that's scary. Like, so you got kids here that are killing people. And like I said earlier, my mom had always threatened me as, like, oh, I'm sick.
Yeah, great to see the recent legislative change in Utah and Missouri. Hopefully other states will soon take the same positive moves. I had to look it up. The place is now called the YMCA camp in Montgomery, but back then it had some weird name. I worked with a girl who got a little rebellious. She got a boyfriend. Her dad shipped her off to Utah. And when she came back, she was different, quiet, withdrawn. They messed her up. Yeah, I mean, well, that's what these places are meant to do. They're meant to strip these kids down, you know, to a point that they're not what they were before. And we're going to touch on that murder a little bit.
Sending you away, I'm sending you away. But she never did it. This was the first time she really did it. Like, I never thought my mom would do this. So what parents need to understand is if your child is acting out because of trauma, like sexual abuse, or maybe like the kid's parents got divorced, or just anything like that, you don't send your kid to a program like this. You need to send your kid to a program where they're not being punished, and it's not about, everything's not about you're in trouble, and it's just really fucked up. You're just using children to keep your ranch going, and you're not even feeding them or letting them sleep in decent conditions. Just doing.
And I'm telling you now, for how much people are paying for this, there is no excuse for even how they're fed. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. $60,000 for 100 days. $60,000. One kid, 100 days. Whether it's through insurance or the parents paying it out of pocket. For 100 days, 60 grand. 60 grand. I can't imagine. 60 grand. And I've seen that number plastered all over the place when I was looking stuff up. Plastered all over the place. For Turnabout Ranch, $60,000 for 100 days. Now, who can afford 60 grand? I'm just saying. Amber Chick says she has a pretty powerful message. Here, though, I mean, sure, she was a baddie, but parents need to listen to this. Kids are being killed at these places, and it ain't okay. She went 60K. Amber Chick says 60K my butt. I'll lock Colorado in the basement. No way, Jose. Actually, fundamental evangelicals, they do have their own camps. Scientology has their own camps, if you want to get technical. Scientology has their own ranch like this for kids. Yep, there we go, Lee. 100K on average for 2-year programs. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. This reminds me of during communism, we had here a labor educational schools, but run by the state. Horrible places. So,
things that no one would ever want done to their child, and not even that, and doing it to kids who are so helpless. And when you know that you're watching their letters, you know that they don't have any contact with their parents. So I'm not really sure why Dr. Phil still sends kids here. It really doesn't make sense. Like, are you trying to help them, or are you trying to hurt them even more?
I agree.
I mean, we all know he's a phony as it is, but like, don't be sending kids somewhere just to make it look like you're trying to do something. There was already lawsuits before I went there. There's now many more after, but there was one as far back as 2012. Now, this place has been going since the 90s, I think. So I could just imagine like how much bad stuff has happened there. These are documented things that have happened. And just the abuse, the malnourishing, physical abuse, mental abuse, all that. And this place is still up and running. It just doesn't make sense. How could you not know about the murder? It was on national news. How could you not know about that?
Okay. Now we all know how Dr. Phil reacted. I'm not even going to go through that. Plus, I don't know if it'll get me a strike on here by playing it. But he pretty much said, I don't know about that. Quick Google search, my dude. Quick Google search, my dude. All right, so this is a Turnabout Ranch. Oh, wait, I need to put a little dash in there in the name. I'll change that later. This is Turnabout Ranch website. Ownership is a private company. Owners are on site. Name of parent company, Utah Business Holdings, LLC. Privately owned. 5-year lease, etc., etc. All right. Commission on accredited... Okay, so Commission on Accredited Rehabilitation Facilities, Department of Human Services, Association, National Association, oh my God, can I speak, Therapeutic Schools and Program. How has the program ever been part of an evidence-based study? We participate in Aspen's outcome summary. Is the program presently part of an evidence-based study? No. It needs to be. And I think places like this should constantly need to be. So I went on the Dr. Phil website. Here you go. There's Mr. Dr. Phil right there. Oh, my screen is off. Hold on. I'm sorry. This is going to bother me. This is going to bother me if I do not fix this. There we go. That's better. All right. Sorry, that was bothering me. Turnabout Ranch is still on the Dr. Phil website. There's a number to call them. There's turnaboutranch.com. And they're still putting that up there. Still on their website. Robert Litchfield, Mel Sembler, Mitt Romney, connections with WASP and Aspen Education Group is why I keep speaking out. Alright. So, this is about the girl with that amazing attorney right there. Lawsuits against Turnabout Ranch and in Escalante alleges repeated sexual abuse. This is about the girl that Danielle was just talking about. Sexual abuse allegations by teen against Turnabout Ranch in Escalante were announced today in a lawsuit. Oh, and this was written February 25th, 2021. Filed by women's rights attorney Gloria Allred, and she's an awesome attorney. And Utah attorney April Hollingsworth. Hannah was 17 years old when she was brought to the ranch in October 2019 after appearing on the Dr. Phil show. She claimed she was sexually assaulted by a male staff member 10 days after she arrived, but did not report the incident because of fear of retaliation, according to the lawsuit. At the ranch, I was alone and isolated from all my family. A month later, another essay happened, and she reported the incident to a female staff member. She claimed she was called a liar but told to write a detailed letter in her report. According to the lawsuit, Archuleta faced immediate retaliation and punishment for writing the letter, including being forced to face a wall or shovel manure for hours, left outside in freezing temperatures, and forced to sleep on a wooden plank, among other vindictive actions. I expect to be treated with understanding. Instead, I experienced retaliation from the ranch after I spoke up in what appeared to me to be punishment for reporting my abuse. Yeah, I believe a lot of these kids need counseling and not this. This is sick. All right, so this is what pisses me off. On its website, Turnabout Ranch says it takes traditional treatment models used to help troubled youth develop into effective individuals and combine them with something more unique. A real working cattle ranch. Okay, having them work the cattle ranch, I don't have a problem with that. But what exactly do you mean by traditional treatment models? I hate the word traditional because whether you're talking about anything from like sexism to 9 times out of 10, when people say traditional, and when I say traditional, unless it's something that has to do with their background of like where they come from or their family comes from, it usually isn't a good thing. Traditional treatment models, I don't know. It's a red flag for me they use those 3 words together. It's a red flag to me, honestly. Hannah, Amanda, and the Breaking Code Silence group have been doing amazing things. No, I totally agree. Totally agree. All right, here you go. Garfield County Sheriff Danny Perkins took issue with Hannah's comments about the law enforcement's role in the incident, especially since his department was not named in the lawsuit. To accuse my office of sweeping a sexual assault or any other crime under the rug, frankly, sickens me. These people are obviously dishonest. See, that's one of the things. Small town. Real small town. Middle of nowhere. Think of how much money that ranch brings in for that town. 1 + 1 = 2. That's all I'm saying. 1 + 1 = 2. Of course, here it's talking about Paris Hilton is getting involved. And of course, Turnabout Ranch strongly denies the allegations, etc., etc. So that's going to be linked. Now, this one here by the Washington Post. Oh, and the other one was by Fox 13. You know, one of those local news stations, but they have it here where they write it down. The Washington Post, tragedy at Turnabout Ranch. A teen came for rehab, then killed a staffer to escape, police say. And I know he is... It's basically exactly how it sounded. He tried to escape. He ended up killing a staffer there. And I think he ended up taking one of the vehicles and they caught him. basically. And that was the gentleman that was killed. The one thing here, all right, the Turnabout Ranch was the birthplace of equine psychotherapy in the late 1990s, so it has been around since 90. When social worker Lynn Thomas and self-described cowboy Greg Kirsten began using horses to teach troubled teens, according to a New York Times story from 2008. It was featured years later in a British reality television show called Brat Camp, which forced unruly, privileged British children to live and learn at the Utah Ranch, then followed their behavioral transformation. And in 2013, the ranch introduced a Christian track for students whose parents sought a faith-based approach to therapy. I do not have to explain that part, do I? But the facility also has been smacked by complaints of abuse and harsh treatment. Recounted by some former residents on Reddit, and that link actually takes us to the next thing we're going to, and Facebook, and detailed in at least 2 formal complaints, one made by a former staffer to management, state regulators, and Garfield County Sheriff in 2004, alleged that sexual assault of a female student by a ranch staffer was covered up, and that later the girl was duct taped and restrained by staff. There's also a link here. Salon reported in a 2012 investigative story about the healthcare companies associated with Turnabout. There were no resulting penalties for the ranch, according to Salon. In 2012, a disgruntled mother filed a lawsuit against the ranch, alleging that her daughter was subject to torture as a program resident in 2005. The lawsuit was later dismissed because it was barred by the statute of limitations. Too many damn complaints on this place. Way too many damn complaints on this place. Horses are big money. Who invests in these camps? How you doing, Kiki? They are big money, but when you have parents that are paying $60,000 for 100 days and was like 180 for 2 years, I mean, there's your money. Yep, exactly, organic. How you doing, by the way? Everything they use is borderline torture to break these kids. No sleep, retaliation, no parent interaction. Exactly. Advent, why must these people constantly use Christianity as a shield for terrible shit? Well, they go a little bit too far with the spare the rod, spoil the child. And that's from what I have always heard and always seen with stuff like this or the private schools I went to. They really push the spare the rod, spoil the child. I remember when I was in private school, and this was when I was in private school and elementary school. Well, like really early elementary, like 5th grade, I went to public. I don't know, I was like maybe in 2nd grade. And the private school was telling me how my mom and dad were going to go to hell because they weren't married. And I started acting out. You know, ADHD, a little kid. What do you expect, right? They called my mother and wanted to pull corporal punishment on me. And my mother, to this day, she will tell you that her answer to them was, if you lay one finger on my child, her being loud and talkative is going to be the least of your worries because you won't have walls left after I tear that place down. Do not touch my child. And this was in, oh God. This was like 79, no. 79, 80, 81, something like that. Like really early 80s. They wanted to pull corporal punishment. My mother told them she's going to tear down the whole place. You touch my child. People who use that spare the rod, spoil the child aren't reading the rest of the story. They never read the rest of the story. Beating kids is not what that means. It's sickening how people use it. It's like how the woman, there's also the part about how the woman's supposed to treat her husband, but they never go 3 verses down and talk about how the husband is supposed to treat the woman, but we're not going to get into that. But I mean, they're always cherry picking, that's all it is. Props to your mom. Thank you, Anissa. Yeah, my mom wasn't having that. She's like, look, I will take care of my child and best believe she will get punishment. It's like the year I failed 8th grade. This is real quick. I'm sorry. It's just, this is so like demanding. I gotta have a laugh. It's like the year I failed 8th grade, right? And I had failed a history class and something else. Nothing like English or math, right? And they told my mom, well, if she takes a reading class in the summer, she can go on to 9th grade. And my mother was like, no. She will repeat the 8th grade and don't worry, she'll be in a reading class. And let's just say that summer, I realized how much I love reading because every week I had to go to the library, pick out a book, and do a book report and tell my mother how that book was by the end of the week, every week during my summer vacation. Before I repeated to the 8th grade. My mother did not play. She was like, oh no, she'll take a reading class. Don't you worry, but she's going to repeat the 8th grade. My mother's something else. Y'all think I have an attitude. Whew, I get it honest. Eighth grade is the year a lot of kids rebel. My problem was I was fighting too much. And the sad thing is my friends all made straight A's. They were straight A students. My friends were straight A students. It wasn't a peer pressure thing. They were the good kids. I guess I was the bad one of the group. I don't know. Yeah, my mom is on point. Bless her. She still is. 70-something years old, she still is. I'm still scared of her. I'm just saying. Okay. So that Reddit link took me to here. And now I will say, on Reddit, there are some obvious fake ones. There's this one that started out like, okay, this might be believable. And then by the time I got to the end, yeah, definitely not believable. I'm pretty sure he did not stick a fork in Dr. Phil's eyes. Just saying. All right. So this person made a Reddit post and says, Turnabout Ranch, the worst of it. Utah is filled with hell of young kids like this, and this is just a short part of my whole story there. Please make it aware for any parents wanting to send their kids to these correctional facilities. I went to Turnabout Ranch when I was 17 and probably got the worst in than most due to my stubbornness. I have began thinking about this place lately now that I'm 23 and will graduate college in a couple semesters. Oh, and by the way, this was written 6 years ago. Okay, so this isn't a clout chasing kind of post. That place led me to actually carve the first letter of my first name on my arm with a wood chip. The time I was in my impact circle. This is because I truly believe that they were trying to brainwash me. If that isn't enough for a parent not to send their child, I remember while branding myself truly the most depressed I will ever be, that the pain didn't even hurt. Due to my stubbornness, I had to experience what was called the desert walk. 2 other boys and I walked a desert all day being fed with an apple and a peanut butter sandwich and a water bottle. We came back and were to be put in the impact circle. We followed this routine for 3 days. I was it was after that, on day 60, I realized the tactic, fake it to make it was the only way. This is exactly what I did. Waste of money, time, and my life. I am a civil engineer, soon to be a major, and would have been so without going to that place. That place is a result of bad relationship with a parent. Somebody said that. And now I have anxiety every day to where if I don't smoke marijuana, I don't know what to do with myself. I am a full-time student, which makes it worse because no one else in engineering smokes like I do. I tell them it's to deal with stress one who takes engineering courses amounts to, but it's more than that. They don't and wouldn't understand. Reddit scares me too. I don't Reddit. I have a Reddit account. It is what it is, but I just don't know how to maneuver Reddit. Sounds like my mom. If I wasn't acting right, I was going to repeat the great. Damn right. Okay. So I think this here, now this was written in 2020. No, it was written April 15th of 2021. I think, and this person did a 3-part series, and I think this is the major issue with this industry. Inside Utah's troubled teen industry, how it started, why kids are sent here, and what happens to them. If anything, out of all the articles, these 3 articles are really good. Really good. Kids go to Utah for these programs from all over the United States. Hell, they even come from different countries to go over there, to go to Utah. Utah has one of the highest concentrations of these kind of camps because it's a lot of land in the middle of nowhere, and yeah. Okay. I think that alone is a setup for disaster. I really do. Utah is a home to almost 100 youth residential treatment centers. And in the past 5 years, they have seen nearly 12,000 children come through their doors, with some of those young people bouncing from one facility to another. Now, from bouncing to one facility to another, that right there, that's making people parent your children and you're not parenting your own children, or you're not actually doing something to help them. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. That's my personal belief. Utah is seen as an attractive place to seek such treatment in part because of the wholesome reputation of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And for some, the state's iconic public lands create visions of dynamic healing and wilderness therapy. Another thing that a lot of people, they have treatment programs for alcoholics and people with drug addictions. They also have a lot of treatment facilities out there for that too. Utah has the most relaxed child abuse laws as well. Like, you can get away with literal abuse there. And that's another thing. How I found this, I remember, and I can't remember, I was telling my friend last night, as I was looking this stuff up, I remember, I don't know if it was in a documentary, I don't know if it was in a TV show, I don't know if I read it somewhere. But I remember hearing something about the state of Utah has like something about like the most cases of abuse out of these, or they have like the most like facilities like these or something like that. And that's where I end up finding this. 100% it does. And when they do get shut down, they simply reband under a new name and start again. I believe it. All right. Okay, a number of these children say blah, 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 blah. A number of these children say they were helped by the therapy they received in places that run the gamut, from campuses tucked into commercial areas to ranches on remote lands, from specialized facilities to huge centers that seek to treat many conditions and issues. Others say they were tormented and abused. Why state sends teens to Utah? Oh my God, what are you doing? Okay, the staff at Provo Canyon School often didn't call them by their name. They were 309, the number given to identify laundry and other belongings. The teen, who uses they/them pronouns, came to Utah in 2017. One of the 99 kids from Alaska sent here that year with Medicaid funding. Now, mind you, Medicaid funding. They had tried to run away from a place in Alaska and then had been hospitalized. That hospital recommended the Springville treatment facility to their father and stepmother. They're not helping these kids. They're shifting them from place to place to place. It's sad to say this, but it's almost like how kids in foster care, how it can be for kids in foster care. They're just getting shifted from place to place to place. That's a sad and horrible life. And if these kids are so easily able to be shifted around, how easy is the abuse that they can receive? And again, this is a troubled kid. Who's going to believe the troubled kid? The residents were told to avert their eyes and look at the floor when staff restrained and held down another kid, 309 said. It happened frequently, sometimes because a resident tried to hurt themselves or sometimes because they were being too loud. Some residents were given injections of a sedative, they said. Something that happened so often, it was nicknamed booty juice. The hell is going on? The hell is going on? The issues in Florida, Alabama, Georgia, and Carolina is complicated here. They are connected with Eckerd schools and the Sacred Straight Dare programs. Yeah. Okay, so this is why they get sent there. Marcia Lowry, executive director of A Better Childhood, said the problem is many states don't develop in-state placements for children with serious behavioral issues, especially those in foster care. Her national nonprofit has sued several places over their foster care system. She said states will often send kids to any treatment center that will take them, even if the facility has a history of inadequate staffing or violence among youth or staff. Well, with Utah, with over 100 facilities, they have a bunch of land in the middle of freaking nowhere. The state of Utah makes a lot of damn money off of these places. Think of how much money the state of Utah is making off these places as far as taxes and stuff go. Now, what would happen if all those places shut down? That's a lot of money lost, isn't it? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let's talk about Red Rock Canyon School. Another high earner was Red Rock Canyon School, owned by Sequel Youth and Family Services, an Alabama-based company that focuses exclusively on youth facilities. The St. George School had received more than $13 million in government money from 6 states until it closed last year after a riot. Allegations of child abuse and reported sexual assault. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. They made $13 million in government money from 6 states. At Provo, officers were called 29 times to Provo Canyon School Boys campus to investigate sex crimes over a 4-year period, a rate that's more than 4 times the average at youth residential treatment facility in Utah. So here's Provo Canyon, 130-bed facility, $37.2 million received from 7 states from 2014-2019. From January 2015 to April 2019, 29 police calls for a sex offense, 26 police calls for violent crime, 357 out-of-state placements since 2015. There's Copper Hills, 197 bed, $26.3 million received from 8 states. From January 2014 to August 2019, 21 police calls for sex offense, 1.6 times higher than average. 54 calls of violent crime, average for size of facility. More than 283 out-of-state placements since 2015. Red Rock Canyon got $13.7 million received from 6 states. 13 police calls for sex offense, 69 police calls for violent crimes, more than 313 out-of-state placements since 2015. What the hell are they doing to these kids? Now, granted, I can understand there's going to be some issues because these are troubled kids. This would even be a place that was all about therapy and they didn't do punishments like that, etc. The hell is going on in these places? Number of youth sent to Utah RTCs by state, 2015-2019. Washington, look at California. California, do I have the... No, it doesn't tell me. That's where these kids are coming from. Look at that. That's where these kids are coming from. It's sad. And these are the youth residential treatment centers in Utah. Look at all these places here. Look at all of them. Let me make sure you can see this one. Hold on. Let me move that up. Oh, God bless it. Come on. Stop being a jerk. Hold on. Wrong way. My bad. And of course I missed it. Well, you saw it in the beginning. This is... This is a really good article. And this whole series is actually a really good article. I would love to see a map of people going to rehabs. That would be crazy. There you have a really great energy. Glad you are well. It's sad when the camps have more crime than some county jails. That's a big problem. Makes me sick to think about it. Exactly. It's a $1 billion industry in Utah, from what I understand. The fact that most are unregulated is absolutely appalling. Absolutely. I think they should have a representative of the state in each facility. Someone that actually can look and see what's going on. Because apparently there's a code of silence. So, that's this one. Utah faces criticism, and this is a Salt Lake City Tribune. Utah faces criticism for its light oversight of a troubled teen treatment centers. There's no regulation to it. I mean, there's regulation, but there's no, How do you put it? There's regulation, but there's no follow through. And I think if they did more follow through, I would think a lot of these places will probably get shut down. Honestly. I think a lot of these places would get shut down. Like here, example. The Office of Licensing issued a warning and demanded changes but didn't shut down the school, even as state investigators were continuing to document new instances of staffers harming the young people in their care. Video reviewed May 7th showed one youth being held in a chokehold by a staff member. On May 20th, another teen was thrown across a room. And on June 19th, a girl was injured after being pinned down for more than 30 minutes. But they still didn't shut down the fucking school. Like I said, follow through. They still didn't shut down the fucking school. It's follow through. Some of these places aren't even running background checks on who they hire. They could hire and something sickening like that. It seriously needs to, absolutely it needs to change. It makes it very difficult when the parents effectively sign their rights away in some cases. Yes, they do. They sign their rights away to their kids for that period of time. And kids have no contact with their parents for months on end. Parents being told the kids will lie. Exactly. And then think about the kids who are in foster care who get sent to places like this. They don't even have parents to go and cry to. They're already caught up in a system that honestly doesn't give a fuck about them. And then they're literally thrown to the wolves. How sad is that? How sad is that? And Utah's making fucking money from it. Utah's making so much money from it. And they don't follow through. They don't follow through. They don't close these fucking places down. They see that shit happening. They don't. They don't. It's sad. Child and disability advocates are now investigating what they see as inadequate oversight in Utah's history of lax regulation that has helped fuel the state's booming troubled teen industry. It's ridiculous that it is even called a troubled teen industry. That tells you the simple fact that they're calling it the state's booming troubled teen industry. That right there tells you it's not about getting help for the fucking kids. It's about fucking money. All this is for fucking money. They don't give a shit about those kids. They don't give two shits about those kids. It's about money. That's all they give a shit about. That's why they're not going to close down the fucking schools. They would lose money. They got money coming from out of state. Exactly, Kiki. Industry. Exactly. They know this shit's happening. Too much money coming into the state. What can we do? They don't give a shit. They do not give a shit. And again, these kids are perfect victims. Hell, even within the perfect victims, the most perfect victims are the kids who are being pretty much kicked out of the foster care program to be sent to these because they don't even have parents that they can go home to and tell what happened. And most adults they run into don't want to hear their shit. They don't give a shit about these kids. Could you imagine going from one of these places to another place, to another place, another place? Can you imagine having to go to all these bad places? And I'm not saying every single one of those places are bad. I'm not saying that because I don't know. But could you imagine being sent to every bad place over and over and over again? How traumatized do you think that child turning into an adult is going to be? You don't think they're going to come out of that fucked up? They're going to come out of it fucked up. It's because not a fucking adult cared about them. Not a fucking adult cared about them. I'm glad that girl is suing Turnabout Ranch, and I'm glad that Danielle, aka Bhad Bhabie, I'm glad she spoke out to back that girl up. And then, like you said, you have Paris Hilton that's out there, saying things about this and the shit she went through in her school. And if you're already a troubled teen, adults don't give a fuck what you say. They don't. Adults barely listen to teenagers in the first place. It could be a good teenager, but adults barely listen to good teenagers, let alone a troubled one. It's sad. It's sad. This is really, really sad. Like it makes me want to cry. Troubled teen or not, these kids don't deserve that shit. They're still human beings. I wouldn't even let my own animal be treated like that, let alone my fucking kid or a child, period. There's no damn way. There's no damn way. I wouldn't want an animal to be treated like that, let alone a human being. The hell? It's sad. It's real sad. Here's one here. 14-year-old from Texas was set 3 goals in his journal. Write a poem before dinner, if at all possible. Do a day hike without falling down and crying. Go to bed very early. 2 days later, he was dead from hypothermia. He had collapsed during a hike in Utah's West Desert as a heat wave broiled the state. He was the 15th to die in a Utah wilderness treatment program since 1990 and the second to die that year alone. What the hell is wrong with you people? The hell is wrong with you people? All right, so the third one, again, I'm going to link all these articles down there and the video from Danielle. I have a problem saying Bhad Bhabie. I don't know why I say Danielle, but Former students at Utah troubled teen seniors say their reports of sex abuse was ignored. I mean, do I really have to read this one? I mean, because we already know they were going to be ignored. They're going to get ignored by their parents. And I'm not saying all parents. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying all parents are going to ignore them. But they're going to get ignored by their parents. Because they're already troubled teens. They've already put their parents through stress. They probably already lied to their parents about a bunch of shit. So their parents aren't going to believe them. Their parents are just thinking they're acting out. We have kids who are in foster care system who already don't give a fuck about them. So why would they believe them? And then you have a lot of these places in small fucking towns with one goddamn stoplight. With a small town that probably makes good money, or at least livable money, because of the people who live at the treatment center alone. So what are they going to do? They're going to make sure it stays open. Who's going to believe these kids? I've already ranted about it for like 45 minutes. Who's going to believe them? Okay, see here, somebody says something about how they changed their name. Cedar Ridge Academy, excuse me. Cedar Ridge Academy has a new owner now and a new name as of February. Marcana Leadership Academy. But reminders of the school's past loom throughout the remote 109-acre campus that stretches over a large swath of the Utah Basin. A few of the current staffers are holdovers, and the former owner still lives in a home on the sprawling property. Shingles are peeled off worn down geodesic domes, one of which was once a barn and another so-called therapy room. It's sad. At capacity, the treatment center can house nearly 50 students, but on a recent December day, 10 teenagers were staying there. 2 had been residents when it was still Cedar Ridge. It was abusive, one 15-year-old girl told the Tribune. It blatantly was. I wasn't allowed to speak for a few months, and I was being restrained every day for stupid stuff. She wasn't allowed to speak for a few months. What in the Scientology is that bullshit? That's what they do. That's what, like, cults do. Why are you restraining them like that? You're not helping these kids. If you're doing shit like that, you're not fucking helping them. By not letting them speak, you're literally telling them they have no fucking voice. Amber Chick says, we do a lot of farm work here. You have to be extremely careful, especially during hot times of the year. This unregulated mess is straight up murder camps, basically. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's sad. It's absolutely sad. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit about these kids. And the sad thing is, the parents that really, really, really do care for their children doesn't realize that they're sending their children to an abusive place like that. Psychological scars inflicted cause guilt and shame. No wonder many can't speak out. Exactly. I have nothing but the highest respect of those that can. No, I absolutely agree, Jolly. I 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. For every single person that has spoken out, and I don't care if the statute of limitations have been too long, the simple fact that you're speaking out about it is amazing. Because more people need to hear about this shit. These places are like prisons for adults, but prisons are somewhat regulated. Somewhat. Some of them don't. Some of them are at the breaking point and just want help. It is a shame. And you can't tell me, working on a damn ranch. First of all, the kid that ended up killing the worker, he was in there because he was addicted to drugs. Why is a place like that dealing with kids addicted to drugs? That kid should be going to counseling or a drug program. I'm sorry, shoveling shit is not a drug program. Period. It's not a drug program. Yeah, exactly, Amber Chick. Ranch work doesn't cure addiction. Absolutely. No, they need to go to a drug program that they have everything they need to not only help them with getting the drugs out of their system, but helping them psychologically with counselors and you know, either psychologists or psychiatrists. I don't know how they would do it, but, you know, with people who are equipped to deal with someone who is on drugs. There you go, medical detox facility. Exactly, Beth. Yeah, there you go, medical detox facility. Thank you. Yeah, that's where, I mean, come on. But Utah's making a lot of money off of it. And you know, Dr. Phil's show, I wonder if Dr. Phil gets a kickback from Turnabout Ranch. A quick fucking Google search. Whoever is in charge of sending these kids to this place, I don't give a shit if it's Dr. Phil. Well, no, you know what? It's his name is on that fucking show, and I know that man has computers, and I know that man can research where in the fuck they're sending these kids. But whoever else is in charge of finding the place to send these kids, that motherfucker needs to be fired. And that motherfucker also needs to give an apology. And they need, the Dr. Phil show needs to get rid of Turnabout Ranch. They need to. There's too many problems with it. There's too many problems with it. Get rid of it. Find another place. So while you're sitting up on that fucking stage acting smug, you see a kid that has issues. You could be sending them to their death. Is that what it's going to have to take? Dr. Phil sending a kid to Turnabout Ranch? And a kid dies? Is that what it's going to have to take? And then this motherfucker's going to sit there and say, well, I didn't know about that. I don't know about that. How many fucking interviews have you done where you talked about her? Don't say you don't know much about her. Every time you're in front of a fucking camera, some kind of interview, they always ask you about Bhad Bhabie. They ask you about her every fucking time, so don't act like you don't know about her. You're a fucking liar. There are doctors and senators involved in these places through state-run facilities too. Just saying. Exactly, Lee. Exactly. No, you're right. You're wondering. It's an industry. Just the word industry alone tells you it's all about money. They don't give a fuck about these kids. Because again, these kids are the perfect victims. They're the perfect fucking victim. Nobody gives a shit about them. So they're easily thrown away, and you can do whatever the fuck you want to them because nobody's going to believe them. You're a state-accredited facility. Who are they going to believe? The team that sits there and lies and steals and does all that, or are they going to believe us? They don't give a shit. And I'm sure it is, Amber, especially with the hard work that it takes to run a damn ranch or a farm. It's ridiculous. Nobody gives a shit about these kids. It's so sad. It's so sad. Now, I wouldn't say that the parents wouldn't question. If they were from foster care, who's going to question? The state? Oh, well, wait. I mean, come on now. But could you imagine? You send your child there and your child dies? You send your child there and your child gets essayed? I mean, how sad is that? Seriously, how sad is that? It's absolutely abhorrent. It is absolutely ridiculous. Oh my god, I have something in my eye. Besides an eyeball. Alright, it's gonna make me want a cigarette. As a grown-up, I almost had a heat stroke one summer working. It's so much more dangerous with a kid, especially one who is being sleep deprived and not fed properly. That whole sleep deprived thing pisses me off. Because I'm sorry, I don't give a shit. I'm not saying they're cults, alright? But that is like a cult-like thing to do. There are so many instances of different cult leaders doing that in history. Because when you're sleep deprived, you're easier to fucking control. When you're sleep deprived, it's easier to break you down. It's ridiculous. Oh, yeah, Jolly, I'm 100% behind you. I don't agree with that, Advent. I'd burn the place to the ground if my kid died in a place like that or anyone else. Amen. Amen. I would do the exact same thing, Jolly. I would do the exact same thing. 100%. The most recent school shut down and the owners are now in custody is Circle of Hope in Missouri. That the Agape Boys' home are two of the worst places with Masters Ranch. Oh my god. Oh, you're talking about the types of parents who send their kids to places instead of doing some Oh, I got you, Advent. You're not talking about parents who actually care. I mean, and I understand, and listen, I'm not downing parents who believe they're, like, they've had it to the point with their child, they feel like they can't do anything. But my God, you have got to do some research. You have got to do some research. Research these places. Look for anything and everything you can before you send your child there. And I can almost understand these kids being sent there through Dr. Phil because you think, hello, the name Dr. Phil, and you would think that he's not going to stir you wrong on that. I can see where they were duped. I can totally understand where they were duped. But people gotta wake up. People gotta wake up. Amber J. Lake ain't a person alive that could have stopped me either. Oh, me either. Nope. Lee, I 100% agree with you because often enough, survivors of abuse will do things like that. Lee said, crazy as it sounds, I know survivors who are apologists and have sent their own kids through the same programs. I believe it. I believe it. And sad thing is when you're a survivor, some people deal with trauma by being that way. You know, some people deal with it. Everybody deals with their trauma differently. Me, I got angry. Some people, depression sets in. Some people, they become apologists and they feel like they did something wrong. You know, it's sad. It's sad to see. Yes, exactly, Amber. A 15-minute Google search could literally save a child's life with this stuff. Oh, Lee, I hope though. Jolly asked, how many years are the owners of the Circle of Hope looking at if convicted? And Lee said life plus. I hope they get it. And I hope they're thrown under the prison. Under the prison. That's so sad. But I've been wanting to talk about this. I just hate kids getting taken advantage of like that. And I hate the fact that you literally have people out there going, she was, when they talk about Danielle, and they're literally like, oh, well, look how she acted on Dr. Phil. She's lying. She's like, you automatically think because a child acted like that they're lying about what happened to them. So do your homework, look on the internet, and then I want you to see how many other kids are lying about what happened in that place. I guess they were all lying, right? Because, they were bad kids. So, all right. I don't know if I'm going live tomorrow night. I will let y'all know. It'll be a last minute decision. But I'm definitely going live Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to be talking about, I don't know yet, because I might talk about it tomorrow night, or it's going to be talked about Friday. Either way, I don't know what we're talking about yet. It depends. So I'm definitely going live 3 p.m. on Friday. I may go live tomorrow night, so I'm glad you brought it up. It's a heartbreaking thing that isn't given attention it should get. These poor kids is just heartbreaking. It is. It is heartbreaking. It's very, very, very heartbreaking. How you doing, Exposing? Thank you for coming by and watching. If you just popped in, it's at the end, so you'll have to catch the replay, because I'm about to get out of here. Hey, Mr. 10. Again, Mr. 10, if you just came in here, how you doing, Mr. 10? I haven't seen you in a while. You can catch the replay whenever you get a chance. But I appreciate everybody listening, and I appreciate the feedback. And it's just something that I felt like I needed to talk about. Because when I heard her in that video, she didn't sound like how she normally sounds when a camera is in her face. Like, you could actually hear the seriousness in her voice. And I understand she's problematic. She is a bit problematic, all right? And she's got a big mouth on her. But her tone was totally different. Her tone was totally different with this one. And that's why I believed her. Her tone was different. Like, you could hear the seriousness in her voice about it. Oh, yeah, that's no problem, Mr. 10. Thank you, Jolly. I appreciate it. Exactly, Advent. She wasn't playing a character. Exactly. Yeah, she was serious and concerned. Exactly. And just her tone alone, I knew she wasn't bullshitting. I knew for a fact she wasn't bullshitting. I felt it in my heart. So. Exactly, Amber Chick. All right, guys. Y'all have a great night. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to work on the next story, although I shouldn't have to work too hard for the next story. But I will let y'all know if I'm going live tomorrow night. Definitely going live 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, though. So we're definitely doing that. I don't know about tomorrow night. I will let y'all know on Twitter. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Oh, and remember, keep it real.